My video cut me off there right as I was explaining 7. So this is not a triangle because my first inequality that I try is 2 plus 3 greater than 6. That does not work. When we come down here and look at 8, we see that yes, it is a triangle because when I check all my inequalities, 11 plus 12 is greater than 15. 12 and 15 are greater than 11, and 15 and 11 are greater than 12. Make sure you've processed through the next section of the Pearson lesson because otherwise this won't make sense. We need to make a range for the possible lengths of our third side. So pause the video and come back when you are ready for this problem. So because we're trying to find the range of lengths for the third side here, let's go ahead and call our third side some value x. So we start by setting up the inequalities that we know must be true. 4 plus 7 must be greater than x, 4 plus x must be greater than 7, and 7 plus x must be greater than 4. Now we set up all three of these, but actually one of them will often end up being thrown away. So let's evaluate all of these as we go. So if we look at 4 plus 7 being greater than x, well really 4 plus 7 is 11. So that tells me that 11 must be greater than x, or another way that I could write that is that x must be less than 11. Now that helps because it tells me that I know the top value, the largest that the side could be is under 11 because it cannot be equal to 11, it has to be less than 11. When I come over here to my next inequality, I see that 4 plus x is greater than 7, so I could get rid of this 4 by subtracting it out of both sides, and I would end up with a statement of x being greater than 3. And if I come over here to my last inequality and I try to get rid of this 7 from both sides, I would subtract 7 from both sides and find out that x is greater than negative 3. Well, okay, so this doesn't really make much sense, right? X being greater than negative 3. I can't have a length that's negative, so that is the inequality that we actually end up throwing out. So now that we've thrown out that third inequality statement, because it's kind of nonsense, we can combine these two inequalities to write one double inequality. Since I know that 3 must be less than my x, or x is greater than 3, I start by saying 3 is less than x, and we also know that x must be less than 11. When I write these double inequalities, my inequality symbols have to go the same direction. So notice I've got two less than symbols. I could also write it around the other way. I could write 11 is greater than x is greater than 3, but it's kind of harder to read when we do that, so most people like to write it like this. So you see that your range is from 3 to 11, but 3 cannot be included and 11 cannot be included either. And of course we always want to use labels, so here's the Pearson answer with the labels put in nice and neat. Pause the video and try numbers 9 and 10, come back only once you have your answers. Now I've got my three inequalities set up here for number 9, but let's go back to our got it and look at what inequality we throw out. Well, the inequality that uses both numbers that I have on the left side is good. The inequality that uses my short side on the left side is good. So the inequality that uses the longer side that I've been given is the one that we throw away. So we can go ahead and figure out, before I even start solving, this third inequality right here is the one that we would throw away, so we don't even need to use it. When I solve out my two inequalities, I find out that 41 is greater than x, and x is greater than 5. So I can go ahead and say that 5 is less than my x, will be less than 41. So now my range is between 5 and 41, not including the 5 and not including the 41. If you've yet to do 10, try number 10 and come back for the answer. And there is how we work through the solution for 10, and here are your answers for 9 and 10 with the labels included. This is the last thing that we have on your notes, so please answer these three questions and come back when you're ready for the answers. To find out which side here is the longest, I start by looking at my exterior angle here and realizing that it is supplementary with my interior angle. So this interior angle must measure 95 degrees. Of course, I'm missing my degree symbol, but it's very hard to type. And that corresponds to the side across from it, which would be side BC. So my longest side is in fact BC. Moving on to which angle is the smallest, we don't exactly know anything about angle B or angle C, but we do know something about the sides that correspond with them. So what I see is that my smallest side that I'm given is 4, and that would correspond with angle C, so angle C would in fact be my smallest. And number 3 asks us then, can a triangle have a length of 4, 5, and 10, so we check it, and we decide that we will try our inequality of 4 plus 5 plus being greater than 10. This does not work because 9 is not larger than 10. Therefore, this is not a triangle. And then there, your answer is written out another way. That is now all I have for you guys. Thank you if you've survived both videos for this section. There were just a lot of questions to make sure you understood everything. Please let me know if you're having any issues on this material. Try your practice work and then be ready for the test. Make sure that you realize we have a final coming up soon, so make sure you're reviewing all the material from all the chapters that we've had this summer. Aside from that, hopefully you guys have a little bit of time to go out and enjoy the nice weather and have a wonderful day.